The San Jose Sharks silently cooked this offseason as they have built an insane team that is going to shock a lot of people this season. In this video, we're going to break down all the additions that GM Mike Grier has made for this team and much more, so you're not going to want to miss this episode of Hattrick HQ. But before we dive into all that, we just want to say we're on the road for 18,000 subscribers, so if you're a big NHL fan, you want to stay up on the latest news around the league, make sure you're down below and hit that subscribe button. And if you're a big Sharks fan, make sure to go check out Sharks Digest. I'm a host over there as well. It'll be linked down below in the description, so make sure to go check that out. But with that said, we got to dive right into this because there is a lot of news coming out of San Jose as of late, where they've made a lot of signings, a lot of trades, adding a lot of veteran guys to this team that has made this team pretty scary going into this season. And just taking a look at where they finished this past season, they were bottom of the Pacific, ended the season on an 11-game losing streak. It wasn't looking good for the San Jose Sharks, but Mike Grier and the front office in San Jose has really had a terrific offseason. As we look at the forward core here, what they've built so far this season, if we just take a look here at the full lineup, we see the top line of last year, which was William Eklund, Macklin Celebrini, Tyler Toffoli, which is a line I really think worked very well in San Jose just this past season, which, you know, was one of the highlights of watching the San Jose Sharks last year, was watching this top line and watching these young guys really click and work together. And, you know, even though they were losing games, they were still having fun. You know, Macklin and Will Smith, that friendship down there is something special, and we see them have a smile on their face a lot of the time. And when you're having fun, you know, doing what you love, it's only going to transition to good play on the ice, which is what we've seen after the Four Nations face-off. Will Smith was almost a point-per-game player. Macklin Celebrini, I believe, was a point-per-game player or over. So these guys really had a great second half to their season, then went to the World Championship where Will Smith had 7 assists. Macklin Celebrini had a terrific tournament playing with his idol in Sidney Crosby, gaining some great experience for these guys. And I think going into this season, they are going to be at top form and top caliber, and we're going to see some terrific seasons out of both of these guys. And obviously you got guys there like Tyler Toffoli, who had an amazing season, William Eklund as well, but they have added some guys here. As we see, Jeff Skinner was only added this past weekend, coming from Edmonton, a great goal scorer to pair with Will Smith, who we just talked about. But centering that line is the potential of Michael Misa, the number 2 overall draft pick in this year's draft, coming in at over 130 points in the OHL last season. This guy is fireworks. He's such a great two-way center, and I can't wait to see him play in the league. I think his game is really going to transition over well to this team, and even, you know, he's a great playmaker. He's a great goal scorer. I mean, he had 62 goals, so I mean, he can put the puck in the back of the net. Do I suspect him to have that pace his first year in the NHL? No, but would, you know, a 40 or 50 point season surprise me from Michael Misa? Not at all. So I think this is going to happen. We're going to see that by next season. I think him and Smith and Skinner would have a lot of great chemistry, and their games would really flow off each other well, and I would love to see that. Obviously, having a veteran with 2 young guys is also great for the mentorship side of it as well. But when we get into the bottom 6 of this team, this is something you don't want to, you know, just wash away. I mean, Philip Kurashev, a guy they traded for, Alex Wennberg, a guy who had a great second half to the season last year as well, and Colin Graff was a guy who came up from the Barracuda last year and really showed out and really showed why he deserves to be on the third line and why he should have a spot at the beginning of this season. But when you look at this fourth line, this is a disgusting fourth line with Barclay Goodrow, Adam Gaudette, and Ryan Reeves recently acquired in a trade. I do think this bottom 6 is definitely one that a lot of teams are going to overlook, and I think it's one that's going to, maybe surprise a lot of teams. I think you are going to get a lot of offense out of guys like Khrushchev, Graf, and Wemberg. But when you put that fourth line out there with Revo and Goodrow, you're going to be going home with ice packs on because you are going to be beat up. This is a, more, enforcer type fourth line like we've seen in Florida. Who just won the cup. I mean, they had a lot of great guys on their fourth line, and guys who really showed out in the playoffs and showed, hey, you need a line like this because they're guys that are going to create energy throughout this team. And that's what we see here with just this bottom fourth line for this San Jose Sharks team. There's also a lot of forwards that aren't on this list that are still, available that we've seen last season. But this is the best lineup that I think we could see going in. But the big improvement for the San Jose Sharks going into this season has been on the defensive side. As we take a look here, we saw that top pairing of Ferraro and Liljegren, guys who have been a very great chemistry there. Liljegren being the more two-way leaning offensive guy, with Ferraro being the pure defensive guy. And then two huge acquisitions in Dmitry Orlov and John Klingberg. I think that is going to be the difference maker for the San Jose Sharks team, and why I do suspect that they will have a way better season than what they have had in the past. I think this rebuild is starting to come to an end in my mind. I think that's what Mike Grier thinks. I think he's saying, hey, it's time to flip the switch. Give these young guys the veterans and players that they need to be successful, and that's what we've seen this offseason with a lot of cap still left to work. And I think John Klingberg is a guy who's going to come in and just revamp the power play for this team and just give this team some added, offense. I mean, he has a big shot from the blue line. He has dealt with injury in the past, but coming from Edmonton, where he had a great playoffs, in my opinion, I think I enjoyed seeing him and what he was capable of doing. I think he will bring this to San Jose and obviously bring that, that veteran side and that mentorship to such a young locker room. And Dmitry Orlov, I mean, one of the best puck-moving defensemen, I think, or maybe one of the most underrated puck-moving defensemen in today's league. I think a lot of people do overlook Dmitry Orlov, but what he has done for the Washington Capitals in the past, I mean, this guy has been such a tremendous defenseman, and I really do think these guys are going to bounce off each other very well. But when you get to this bottom pairing here, we do see Sam Dickinson, Nick Leddy, and Jakir Mukhamadullin, and I do think that Sam Dickinson will make this team this season. I really do think he does deserve it. I think he's coming off a season where he did win CHL Defenseman of the Year. That is not an easy feat by any means, so he definitely deserves a spot here. We did see some comments come out from Mike Grier talking about how the Thrun trade to Toronto was to really free up space so that Sam Dickinson could get into this lineup. So I do love this, and obviously you have Nick Leddy and Shakir Mukhamadullin, guys who are going to kind of rotate in and out, and I do think both of these guys will pair well with Sam Dickinson's game, obviously being more, two-way leaning, fully offensive. I would say that's what I would classify his game as, but I've been excited for Sam Dickinson to put on the teal for a long time, and it looks like we're finally going to get to see it this season. And to the goaltending quickly, I mean, we're talking about Yaroslav Askarov, a guy who we've seen in the AHL dominate in the AHL playoffs last year, but during his time in the NHL with the Sharks, he has had some great starts, has had some great performances on a team that was struggling. So I think getting him up now in his first full season as a Shark, I think he will surprise a lot of people in the crease. But if that doesn't go as planned, they do have a backup with Alex Nedeljkovic, a guy who has had starter minutes in the past and has looked good. So I do think that this Sharks team is going to be out of the bottom of the Pacific this year. I do think, I mean, just going back to where the standings were last season, I mean, we see them down there. I could see them above a team like the Ducks, and I think they could be fighting for a playoff spot if things go right. I mean, would I put money on them making the playoffs? No, but I do think it's a team that's going to shock a lot of people, upset a lot of the top teams in the league today. So I do really suspect that we will see a good season out of the San Jose Sharks. They're a fun team to watch, and I can't wait to see what's in store for this team. But if you enjoyed this video, want to stay up on all the news around the NHL, make sure down below, hit that subscribe button. But as always, I've been your host, KC. Keep your stick on the ice.